Welcome back to Yoga Express. It's all about moving the body to still the mind. My name is Banu. I'm your host for this program. I host and produce this show, so I feel very lucky. I have the dual role of not only putting the show together, but I also have access to some of the best teachers around town in New York City, as well as a few who have come from overseas on our show as well before. Right now, we have, at my special request and at the request of my crew, we have Drue Michael, who's back with us on the show. Drue, you've been in several episodes before, and then there was a long gap, and I had to go away. We didn't tape for a while. I'm so happy I got hold of you this time, because the last two episodes that you took me through, I love the pace. I love that you prepared me to ease myself into, some of what normally would have been difficult for me. Before I forget and before Drue gets started on today's episode, I'd like to thank our crew again, Lizette Perez and Akram Abiskaroon. Thank you so much. Thanks also to Ryan Stillwagon, our facilitator. Thanks, guys. And I love that music. That's from Saptatandavam. That's actually a music CD.
Oh, cool.
That's Lord Shiva on Mount Kailash.
Yeah.
So, Drue, tell me, before we start today's stretching, I'm already blessed out anyway. I've still been practicing the slow moves. I love it that you have this musical way of putting, especially, and you were a dancer before, right? So I especially love that. I'm going to call it the Drue wave, the one that you went down, and you said you made it up right that morning, about a week ago.
Yeah, I all my best creations I just come up with in the moment.
Wow.
I don't try to plan my classes beforehand, because I never know what the energy is going to be like. And
right.
You could plan an advanced asana class. You show up and it's, silver sneakers. And you're like, well, I didn't know I was going to have, these students in this room at this time. So
the creativity and the flexibility. We're talking about being flexible in yoga.
Yeah.
We have to be flexible in mind as well, right?
Well, I think more importantly, we have to be balanced. I think like the balance between mind and body, the balance between flexibility and strength. Because a lot of people don't think about strength when they think about yoga, but if you don't have the core strength, all your poses, not everything is accessible if you don't have it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I love that. That's so polite for saying you can, because I know I can get into not being accessible. I'm going to feel that way before. It doesn't make you feel too bad when you realize that anything is possible. Correct. If you just feel strong on the inside, right?
Exactly. Feeling strong is almost as good as being strong.
Right. Very inspiring. I'm ready. I'm all energized for today.
All right, cool. Well, I think we can continue with the idea of balancing a little bit and do some pranayama breathing.
Right. Okay.
I was thinking some alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shodhana. And you've practiced Nadi Shodhana before.
Yes.
Do you start inhaling left or inhaling right when you do it?
I always start inhaling from the left.
Okay, that's what I think too. I think somebody challenged that idea in my mind the other day in their class, and I was like, who's wrong? But it doesn't really matter.
No, there's no right or wrong as long as we do both sides. But it's just out of consistency, even with the leg moves, I always start with the legs. It's just left first because that's a heart side for me.
Oh, okay.
I just think of it that way. So.
I like that, the heart side. I like that. So then we'll start with our left. So I'm going to explain it a little bit for viewers at home. Well, the way I do it, my hand is I take my pointer finger and my middle finger to touch the third eye. A lot of people use their ring finger to plug their left nostril and their thumb to plug their right. I have a very sensitive nose, so if I tried to close my nostril, I would actually start sneezing halfway through. So I use the knuckle of my ring finger to just close the hole, and my thumb to close the hole on the right side.
Okay.
So you are touching your nose, but I'm sure this is something you do all the time when you're alone, so it's fine. You can wash your hands later. So you're going to take your middle and I'm going to remove my glasses actually. For me, that works best. I touch my third eye. We're going to plug the right side and we're going to inhale through our left. And then you're going to hold. And then you're going to exhale right. Inhale right. And hold. And exhale left. So before we continue, I just want to explain that hold, that like kumbhaka hold. The retention of the breath is really important. some people get really freaked out because they're literally in their head, they're going, when am I going to...
Panicking.
Yeah, when am I going to breathe again? So it doesn't have to be a very long hold. I'd say 2 to 3 seconds is best. Some people can hold it longer. So at this point, I just say, now that we've established the in-out pattern, you can flow at your own pace.
Right.
So I'll explain one more round, and then we'll take maybe like 3 or 4 rounds at our own pace. So plug the right, touch the third eye, inhale left, and hold. Exhale right. Inhale right. And hold. Exhale left. Flowing at your own pace. 2 more rounds. When you're finished, just let your arms release down onto the lap, breathing normally in and out through the nose. So at the very least, Nadi Shodhana can help to clear out if you have one side of your sinuses that's congested.
Right.
But we're balancing our nadi lines. So the nadis are channels of energy through the body. The main 2 are Ida and Pingala Nadi, the male and the female, or the masculine feminine energies in everybody's body. We all have both. So at the end of it, you might feel a little bit, enlightened, as I like to say. But
I love that.
we're working towards feeling we're balanced, ultimately. All right, cool. And so now I thought we would do some heart opening. So let's actually start with our legs forward. And feet can be a little wider apart. Sometimes when I do my forward folds, I like this. I like the feet a little wider. And it's good too for people who are new to the practice. Feet are either pointed or flexed. Arms up. Let's do some twisting today too. So we're going to start by twisting left. When we twist, we don't twist with our arms. We twist with our belly and our root. So we twist, the arms just happen to go with our shoulders. And then the arms come down, and then the arms can help a little bit here. So again, making sure you're not rolling back in your tailbone. We talk about that a lot. We want to sit up nice and tall as we twist. The head is the last piece. The head doesn't even have to twist at all. Some people, it's almost like they started with their head, and it's just too much on the neck, right? Arms come back up. And then we're going to twist with the belly to the right. Hands help at the last moment. And then arms come back up again. Let's take the first side left. We twist. And once the hands come down, you're going to take your right hand and slide it down the leg as far as you can. Maybe you even hold the foot. And then your left arm reaches back. So we're still twisting, opening up the heart.
That's tough.
Yeah, you could just grab the toe. You could just press into the outside of your shin. And then we're going to switch again, arms up. Twist to the right.
I had to cheat a little. I brought my feet together.
Oh, that's okay. And then slide down, left hand to right foot, or ankle, or calf, whatever happens. Yeah, I wonder if that's easier. I don't know. I can't tell the difference. One more breath.
But geometrically, it's a little closer to my fingers.
Oh, okay. And then coming back to center. Now reach for both feet. So either feet closer or feet wider, whatever works for your body. Let your head go. So we're preparing our body to do a little bit more heart opening. When we talk about heart opening, a lot of times we also talk about back bending. So back bending is the way to open the front of your heart. But we have to counter with some forward folding, which is a good way to open the back of your heart. So heart opening is in lots of directions. So already thinking about that kind of dynamic of the heart opening in many directions. As we inhale, reach your heart forward and look up. So this is front of heart. And then exhale, release, feel back of heart. Inhale, front of heart. And back of heart. One more time. And exhale. Cool. We can sit up from here. Bring your hands to interlace. And then hold the back of your occipital ridge, the back of your skull. And this could be a good opportunity to twist more, but we're going to do side opening instead. I just thought this was fun, so I couldn't resist.
It is fun.
We are pretty much matching today almost. At least it looks like that on the camera.
Scheme here.
We're very autumnal, even though it's spring. So we're going to take our right elbow towards the floor on the right side. So again, that balance of strength and flexibility here, we're opening up our left side, but we're actually engaging our oblique muscles too. And then switch the other way, left elbow towards floor. And if you notice like your right sitting bone starts to lift up, that's the strengthening we're working on. We're trying to keep that rooted into the floor. Again, to the right. Banu has a wonderful breath that she's incorporating into her practice. I apparently forgot to breathe today. Awesome. Now go ahead and come back up to sitting upright. Release your arms. Take your hands behind, and we're going to bend our knees. The feet are going to be a little closer together. Knees are bent, hands are on the floor. We're going to lift our pelvis up. And you want to pull your belly in to get the top of your pelvis, or the front of your pelvis, a little higher. And this I feel, if I press down really firmly into the center of each palm, I feel my shoulder heads opening a little bit. That's really nice. I could hold an apple under my chin, or if it felt okay, I could let the head fall back, but as long as it feels comfortable. Take one more breath. Very nice. Go ahead and bring your seat down to the floor. Extend your legs. Now we're going to come into a variation of fish pose. So we're going to bring our feet together. I take my hands like the letter L around my lower back, and I'm going to come onto my elbows. I want to get my elbows really close together. So I'm actually pressing my thumbs into my lower spine. It feels really good. I always take every opportunity I can get to give myself a free massage. And I'm just going to let, if it feels okay, my head fall back. So that might be a lot for some of you. If you have neck issues, don't do that. Keep an apple under your chin. Or a plum, whatever is comfortable. Or a grapefruit. That could be like a half falling back. Some of this is good for strengthening your neck muscles also. Because some parts of our neck are very overused, other parts of our neck are not so used.
Right.
Like the front muscles of our neck, they're not always used as much.
Just so folks can see your elbows, maybe we can do heads to the center.
Oh, sure.
I think that's important, the way you hold.
Yeah. It's quite comfy, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, my neck is getting a little tired, but again, like I said, I'm strengthening those muscles. And I like to take my head from side to side here, almost like I was laying in the sun on a sunny day and just kind of soaking up the warmth.
Actually, by the time we air, it is going to be summer.
Oh my gosh, that's exciting. And then to get out of our pose, we just wanted to go slowly. Chin to chest, one hand at a time, helps you up. Good. And then let's swing ourselves around. Come onto your knees. So we'll do a little cat and cow. We did this a couple times ago that I was here, but it's a good thing to do. Elbows are bent, toes are tucked. You're going to come through the two shapes of cat and cow. So cow is saggy belly, and I really like to emphasize that elbows stay bent and that we don't just touch the back of our head to our back. We keep the back of our neck open. And then we exhale, we pull the belly up. Elbows stay bent, which allows our whole spine, not just part of our spine to round, but the whole spine to round. See, if I lock out my elbows, then part of my spine gets a good stretch, but the rest of it doesn't. And then sink the belly down, look up. And pull the belly up, look down. One more time. And exhale. Cool. Let's do a little bit more core strengthening. So untuck your toes. You're going to reach your left hand forward. You're going to reach back through your right leg. Really reach. And then bring your elbow to touch your knee. So opposite elbow to knee, chin to chest.
Not my favorite.
But I like this because it's like I'm going, yes!
That's a good way of looking at it.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do.
Or sometimes I give myself a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Just helps me to feel like I'm doing a good job. And again, knee to elbow. One last time. So I like to do things in either 3s or 5s.
Right. I like 3s.
Yeah, 3s is faster. Awesome. And the last part of it is we're going to bend. We're going to try to reach our left hand back to grab our right heel.
Oh, that's not happening. Oh, you know what? I should
Maybe?
try. Yes!
Touched it. Yeah. So this is a good stability exercise.
Yeah, good stretch.
If you can grab the top of your foot, you can actually kick into your hand. But just know that you want to keep your belly engaged. Otherwise, you're going to feel some crunchiness in your spine.
Right. Is that what's holding my balance? The belly?
Yes.
Okay.
Lowest abdominals and the root of your pelvis. And then I like, because sometimes I feel like I'm wobbly here,
Right.
I like to just go with it. I like to bring my shoulder down and then my knee down and just kind of rock.
I'm going to watch you. I can't do that.
This is like the
That's
boat.
so musical.
The boat in a storm. Yeah, kind of fun. We release. Let's do one more thing here. Take your right knee and cross it to the outside of your left ankle. And then bring your elbows down. And this is such a good stretch for your outer left hip.
Oh my God. I don't know why I suddenly thought of my mom when we do the prostration, she always crosses her legs, but she's 89 now.
That's something I was just gonna say, that I've been teaching this with full prostration arms.
Right.
So arms forward, palms up, and then melt. This is what your mother does?
She actually keeps her palms
Oh, okay.
closer, but her legs are always crossed.
Oh,
and I used
okay.
to find that really tough.
I've never done this with the legs crossed until literally yesterday.
Oh, wow.
So the universe is very funny. Let's do the other side. Back onto all fours, hands and knees.
It's odd. We never know what our parents were capable of
Yes.
till we enter into the arena.
Oh, and I was a late child, so I have no idea what the story was. Reach the right arm forward, left leg back. Just 3 of these, like little guys. Elbow to knee. And reach. That's the inhale. This is exhale. And reach. One last time. And reach. And then maybe bend the left leg. See if you can reach back with right arm. Touch heel. So heel's easier than top of foot. Or maybe top of foot eventually. Some of you can kick. Kicking is hard if you're not used to stabilizing.
Is the hard part.
Yeah. And I'm pulling my lowest abdominals up. The thing about the belly and the butt muscles, you have to actively engage them. You have to tell yourself. Otherwise, it doesn't happen. You have the rocking option. That's actually a little weird. When I just decided I was going to get into it and just do it consciously, it became not so bad. But when
I'm going to think of your imagery.
Yeah.
Rocking of the boat.
Ooh, yep. My boat almost capsized. And then take your left knee, cross it to the outside of your right ankle, and then melt into your forearms. So this could be here. You could do the full prostrative option, which is a little harder, but really good for opening that heart, melting heart. I also like the knees crossed because it's a little bit of a compression of the thigh into my abdominals, which is massaging my organs.
It's very nice. It's a beautiful massage for me too. Feels good.
So if anybody at home didn't realize that, yoga is good for your organs just as much as your muscles, your joints. That's why we look so young. I'm actually 75.
Yeah, right. You're kidding.
Well, 32 anyway.
Yeah, but I think yoga definitely makes us feel much younger. You're right.
Yes, definitely. So let's do one last thing. We're going to come up onto our shins. And we're going to take Ustrasana, or some version of it. So Ustrasana is a little bit more advanced, but there's variations. So this is an okay place to be. You could also be sitting on a block. You could also be tucking your toes and just sitting. This is a good ankle opener and foot opener with the toes tucked underneath.
Right.
You could also be just standing on your knees. If you need to put a towel or something under your knees to pad, you can. And then the main idea in Ustrasana is that we have to engage our belly to be able to lengthen our back to open up our heart. So let's actually start by bringing our arms up over the head, pull the belly in, and then lean back a little bit. So leaning back by pulling your belly in. So it's almost like somebody took their fists and just went into the belly, right? So you can even reach forward with your arms
martial arts now.
as you pull your belly back. One of my teachers used to do a thing where we would go in
That's
yoga
a
class.
kriya.
Yeah.
It's actually a yoga kriya, cleansing.
Johanna Bell used to do that in her
Yes.
classes at Sonic.
It's in Kundalini yoga.
Yeah, it's awesome. Oh, they loved Kundalini. Let's do that again. So reaching forward, pull the belly back. If you want to do Kundalini.
It's like a soldier's move.
Yeah, I love
to give
that.
them strength.
And so then you're going to keep that same belly engagement. Your hands can come actually to the floor. Some people will be able to bring their hands behind them. And just lean into the hands and open the front of your heart. But keep that same engaged belly feeling. So that's not so intense of a back bend. If you're coming from up on the knees, you tuck your toes under and you pull that belly in. And then you're going to take your hands either fingers down or fingers up. Fingers up is a little harder. And you want to get your elbows together. Now when my elbows come together, my belly falls out. So I'm going to pull it in again. And then I lean just into my hands a little bit. I don't let the belly go even for a second. And I keep a grapefruit under my chin. So I don't let my head just fall back right away. So I feel that. 4. And then I might be able to take one hand at a time to touch the heel. Because I tucked my toes under, my heels are a little bit more accessible.
Right.
And then maybe I can take both. So keep the belly engaged.
So, it hurts my knees, so I'm going to uncurl and see if I can.
Oh yeah, that's possible.
Because there's pressure on my
Knees should be at least hips width apart. So if they're too
that's
close, that could be a
probably
problem.
Yeah. Maybe that was why.
And at any point, if you're like, well, I've had it, you take your hands back one at a time, pull the belly in, chin to chest, and you come back. And then you untuck your toes. You never want to come right into child's pose.
Right, okay.
You want to sit down first, and then you come into child's pose. If you go right into child's pose, you have it's an opportunity maybe to smash your face into the floor. I've done that before.
So because the blood is flowing back. And
I just went right from an intense back bend, and I went, ugh.
Oh, no.
Fortunately, I have a very large, flat forehead. It was fine. So taking your time here in a little melt child's pose.
Well, we still have a couple of minutes left. Drue and I will complete our stretching practice, but I want to remind our viewers every Monday, 7:30 to 8. Time Warner 56, RCN 83, Fias 34. Tune in, come and stretch with us. It's usually weekday afternoons. On behalf of my crew, Lizette Perez and Akram Abiskaroon, I'd like to thank Drue Michael. Drue, thank you so much. We could keep
Thank you so
stretching.
much.
Also, thanks to Ryan for keeping us here, allowing us to go a little over time. But thank you, Ryan. I know it's your space after this. So, Drue, that felt good. Especially the camel was very intense, but also it was good that you took it step by step. But I do have one, we still have a couple of minutes, so we're good. And we can keep stretching if you like while you're doing that. I'm going to just stretch, get some blood back. But there is one question I find. You're absolutely right. Geometrically, if I curl my toes in, my heels are closer when I do the camel, the last posture we did. But for me, I'm almost 62, so for me, my knees take a lot of the
It's
pressure.
almost like a little bit more weight right on the kneecap.
Yeah.
So people can...
so can I sort of adapt, and if I cannot reach my heels, uncurl the toes, but just keep it in the back and maybe glide down halfway? Or
You could do that. You could untuck your
still
toes.
Effective?
The other thing is you could take a little... you could go the Iyengar route and use props. So you could put a blanket under your knees, or just take your mat and fold it back so that there's a band of extra padding.
Get some padding. Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. That's something I should have remembered that. Because
Yes.
I like doing the camel. I like trying the camel, but I don't want to hurt. You know how you said you should enjoy it.
Yeah.
I don't want to suffer through it. So that was good.
Oh, I love backbending.
Any closing tips for our viewers? Anything that you think they should be careful about when they're stretching?
Well, notice we started off with pranayama, so that's good because we were in a good focused mental place before we did advanced backbending. We did a lot of core focusing stability work. We could have done some more, but it's always good to be strong and flexible at the same time.
Well, what is your daily practice like? I mean, our viewers would love to know. The credits are rolling, but they can still hear you.
It's only like, if I'm going to do a practice myself, it might be 3 to 5 poses.
Right, and you do some breathing, then some stretching, and...
I do a lot of breathing while I sit on the subway. And I'm just like, okay, what's my day going to be?
What about meditation? Is that, because I've only recently started to take up meditation, and I switched from morning to afternoon to evenings, because I find it helps me sleep better. But is it better to do in the